Hello, I am Mike of New Dice, and this is the Kerbal Space Program. I am, hopefully. Oh, reaching the last few meters. I'm trying to dock. This is the Aluminium Rhinoceros the third. It is my training vessel that I am using to hopefully instruct my Kerbals and get them up to level 3 by going past the moon, which I've done, landing on Minmus, which I've done, planting flags on Minmus, which I've done, and then the last thing I need to do is I need to get out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. That is not going to help me. And then back again. Why is RCS not doing anything? I do have monoprop. I've got thrusters. RCS is on. I'm hitting the right keys. Take that off. Ah, there we go. Right, so it's going to be how much can I do without wasting RCS. Let's try something. I can't aim towards a target. I don't have a Kerbal who's good enough to do that. It's a pity. So I don't have very much RCS to use on this. So I want to use as little as I can. Although I'm feeling reasonably confident. Now let's just move our view a little bit. Lined up pretty well. I was actually heading away, which is not what I wanted. So I'm now heading slightly towards. Check my heading. So unfortunately, I don't have a Kerbal or a probe core on this that's smart enough to either point directly towards my targets, or even do what the other option would have been to go. The other option, because I'm pointing at it like you can see. The other option, because the target craft is pointing directly downwards. It's going with what the I can't remember whether I gave it the normal or the anti-normal to do. So it's pointing in a known direction. So if I had slightly more advanced Kerbals, then I'd have been able to I've gone slightly off center now. If I had slightly more advanced Kerbals, I'd have been able to point and know that I'd be pointing in the right direction. Now I could use my docking script. I do have a docking script. Oh, I've run out of RCS. And that was what I was worried about. Okay, so moving together very slowly. Right, we're drifting off. Okay, so emergency backup plan. Emergency backup plan, I use this thing. I go not into target mode but into orbit mode, and then I say point at my target please. And oh, I'm also control from here. Turn on RCS. So, see this one has lots of delta V. And it's got lots of monopropeller left. This is the transfer stage that got this unwieldy beast, got the lander past the Mun and onto Minmus, and I am hoping is going to have enough to take us outside of Kerbin's sphere of influence. Let's go a whole meter a second. Let's go mad. And I in fact used the my asteroid redirect craft to do this. So this is a craft that was in fact designed to grab a great big huge meteor, great big huge asteroid, and grab that and bring it into Kerbin orbit, which I did. So yes, victory. Alrighty then. So that actually worked somewhat to my astonishment. So it's going to dump everything from the lander into that there thing, into the transfer stage. No very good reason. I'm going to grab this monoprop and I'm going to chuck as much of that into the capsule, just in case I want that later on. That's taking a lot longer to transfer over. Okay, been quite a lot of issues to get here. A few things have gone wrong, but the mission has in fact managed to keep going. So that's now full. That's still got a bunch of delta V in it, a bunch of RCS in it. Monoprop really. So we release, and now I've got 974 delta V in this craft. Turn off RCS in this craft. Okay. Sweetie sweet. So now the reason I'm zooming out is I need to know where I am relative to Minmus's orbit around Kerbin. Because what I want to do now is I want to leave Kerbin's sphere of influence. And the best way to do that is to go prograde when I'm going the same direction around Minmus that Minmus is going around Kerbin. So Minmus is going around that way, I'm going around Minmus that way. So when I'm facing opposite to Kerbin is when I want to go. So that orbit's looking a bit like I'm crashing into the ground, but I don't think it is. I think that's just the way, yeah. That's just the way the kind of the cross of the orbital thing is coming across. I think that's all that is. Right, so that gives me a Kerbin escape, and I don't quite want that much. I want the absolute minimum that will give me a Kerbin escape. Because I'm gonna, there we go. So that's going to take ages. Wow. In fact, my Eve mission would happen first. That's the big problem. It's going to take a long time. But that's okay. I'm okay with that, actually. What I might do is bring it. Can I? I just want to bring the more into the same plane. Oop. So that when I get to that point, that's when I'm going to put the brake. As soon as I leave that sphere of influence, I'm going to want to put the brakes on. So that's going to cost me 74 meters per second. I've got 974, so I'm going to have 900 left over, just under, because it's 74.5, and I've got 474. So I can do that burn. Then I'm going to have to start thinking about, am I going to do anything with ELU? And if I'm not, even if I just say, I'm not going to bother with ELU, ELU can do fine on its own. ELU has lasted this long without me doing anything with it. It can last a little bit longer. I will in fact want to do my Eve mission, which is going to be, wow, that's going to be a lot of things. That's going to be a lot of satellites being launched, because I want to put satellites around Gilly, and I want to put 2 landers on Gilly, and I want to then put satellites around Eve, and then I want to drop my one-use lander / rover onto Eve. That's going to be a thing. Wow. Yeah, okay. So what I think I'll do is I will... Right, what's going on here? Right, we're separated. That's fine. I think, do I leave that here, or do I deorbit it? I can make that decision later. I can deorbit and smash it into Minmus if I don't want it to take up space. It's basically, at the moment, it's just a whole bunch of monopropellant and solar panels. So it's not doing anything useful. Don't need that no more, so goodbye to the dock alarm. So I think I'll just do that burn. Can't walk faster than 50 times when below 12,000 meters. Well, I've got 24 minutes, so that's going to be about 30 seconds. To do that burn, that's going to be a 7-second burn. So there you go. So annoyingly, yeah, I just have to. I'm going to have to be waiting for 41 days to get to the escape. Spend 5 minutes and then just get back in again. I should have more than enough Delta V to do that. And then landing on Kerbin, which is going to be involved. I'm going to have to pay very close attention to my staging as we swap into night, because that stack separator there is going to activate. I'm going to have to do a lot of staging because I want the right engine to be active and stuff like that. So I'm going to make sure that goes before these parachutes, because it's because of it undocking and docking and stuff. So the staging is all warped. So I'm going to have to pay particular attention to that. Like these engines, going to make sure they're not in any kind of stage. Make sure the chutes are in a stage, and I'm not going to accidentally trigger those. Except when I really want to. That's the thing I'm going to have to take care of. However, I'm going to end off. I'm just going to do the burn and make sure that I do in fact have a Kerbin escape, and then it's either send something off to Elu, or it's do something else. Or just fast forward straight to do my Eve mission. That's going to be a big thing, that is. Right, I have a slight confession to make, which is that there is a seamless edit that occurred there, which you didn't notice, that I'm going to draw attention to by telling you that I just did it. It turns out that not only does your staging get bulked up if you undock a craft and then redock it, your staging, as you can see, my staging is all kinds of wacky, and I'm going to have to sort that. I'll mention that. But there's another issue, which is that where you control your craft from may change. And that is an issue that I discovered mere moments ago. Well, it's actually a bit longer than that now. And that ended up with me going at right angles to where I thought I was going. I'm not quite sure how this occurred, because everything on here that I could control from is pointing up and down, you know, the body of the rocket. And somehow I ended up pointing completely in the opposite direction to where I thought I was pointing. And my orbit, I started going like into a polar orbit, and instead of spending 74 meters per second, I had spent over 200, and I had 200. Yeah, basically the amount of delta V I had to put into to get to the orbit I wanted was going up and up and up instead of down and down and down. So I have had to find a quick save and in fact go around another orbit and redo this. So yeah, that was a bit embarrassing, but it was the only way to fix it. I'm not playing hardcore, I have no shame. So there we go, that's everything working as it should do. Except I'm drifting. What the heck just happened? Maybe that wasn't what the problem was. Let's shut down this engine. And in fact, let's thrust limit it right down. Ah, that must be what happens. Okay, interesting. I thought I'd already transferred all the fuel from there. No, that's interesting. What happened here? So with those 3 engines going and that one, let's make sure this is that's an active engine. All the other engines should be shut down. There's only one active engine. Ah, that's interesting. What's that done to my orbit? Not too much badness. That was interesting. I wonder if that was what caused it before. I'm drifting off a little bit, but that's probably just the usual thing where you tend to drift off a little bit. Just get those last few meters a second in. Right, so I'm getting an escape. It's not the same escape. I don't care. That will do. Okay, right. After all that, yeah. I now have my escape velocity, which means in 41 days I'm going to add in an alarm for that. Actually, what I'm going to do is yeah, actually I will add an alarm in for that, because I actually want to do an alarm not for this one. I want an alarm for that SOI change, which means I want to be on the other side of this S.O.I. change. So I want to do that now, even though it's going to take me another day. But I'm okay for time. Even if I'm sending something to Ilya, I've got some time. I should have been much more careful. I need so many checklists. I need checklists for when I'm designing craft. I need checklists for when I dock and undock, especially when I undock something and then redock. I need a checklist, like sort your staging. Like move those into separate stages so the parachutes are not going to be staged at all. I'm never going to use those engines again. I'm going to chuck them right up the I might use those again actually. Now they'll be after that goes off. Like I might use them for braking. That's still an hour away. Okay, just time warp that. It's going to take a minute. Okay, so when I'm on the other side of that, what I need to do is I need to then set an alarm for the Kerbin escape SOI change. Then I'm sorted and I can go back and do other things like maybe send something to Elu. Or failing that, it's going to be Eve mission time. So we'll see how that goes. That's slightly worrying that I no longer don't have any kind of velocity at all. But I can only hope that that's going to resolve itself nice and soon. My My altitude is not, it's not one of those things where sometimes you just get stuck in space. That's not happening, so that's fine. Eventually it's going to notice that I've left. Anyway, enough of all that. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Do come visit neil.dice at neil.dice.com. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, so do find us there. Just search for Neil Dice on Twitter and Facebook. Until next time, reach for the stars.